Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is the paid request, this time from Tomas. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, randomness, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, tier lists, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Point of Impact from 1993 is the film we're talking about today. And I did not know what the hell this was, so I had to look it up and in order to find and watch it. It's on Tubi, but I don't recommend watching it because stars Michael Paré, who I liked as an actor. He was in Eddie and the Cruisers. I liked him in this film with Anthony Michael Hall called Into the Sun. This was a boring, barely an action film. It's more like erotic, Skinemax wannabe kind of thriller, I guess, in a way. Because Michael Paré stars as a cop. There's a deal going on. It goes bad. Fellow cops get killed. He's chasing the truck. He's bashing the truck. And I swear he bashed the truck into a fucking fuel depot and it blew up. And I'm like, good job, cop. You screwed that up. But he blames his superior because his superior didn't do X, Y, and Z things and thinks his superior's on the take. And I'm like, dude, it's part of your you deserve to get fired. Good, it is part of your fucking fault. Because I did watch this scene. You're bashing the car and there just happens to be a fuel depot and I don't know, instead of shoot the tires out, which I don't know why he didn't shoot the tires out, because there wouldn't be the scene. But yeah, he fucked up his job. He did a shitty job at his job. Like, why didn't he try to shoot the driver? Why didn't he try to shoot the front tires or the back tires? Because one of his cops was in the back fighting with other guys. Or hell, why didn't he go from the back and try to shoot the bad guys attacking his fellow cop? Maybe he didn't have any bullets on the gun in the time. Well, if that's the case, you should have had backup weapons. Come on, that's a rule for action movies and cops, to have plenty of ammo. Didn't follow that rule, you fucked up. Now, other people in the film, you got Barbara Carrera, and I knew she looked familiar. She was in the James Bond film Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery, but I remember from the Chuck Norris film Lone Wolf McQuade. I'm like, oh, that's where she's from. She was the love interest of Chuck Norris, and I liked that film quite a bit. And then you also have Michael Ironside, who is pretty much our main villain. And it's always great to see Michael Ironside. From Total Recall in 1990, and Highlander 2, and became the voice of the lead Sam Fisher in a lot of the Splinter Cell video games. Michael Ironside's always a pleasure to have in there, no matter how shitty the film is. Because the film is boring. Like, the film is very, very boring. He gets fired. He gets hired by Michael Ironside. Michael Ironside says, I want you to protect my wife, played by Barbara Carrera. And pretty much is a lot of Michael Paré, which doesn't do a great job acting here. Maybe it's because I've seen him do better. Into the Sun with Anthony Michael Hall, Eddie and the Cruisers. He's done better in other stuff with other material. I think it's not so much his. You looked at the script. There's nothing new, nothing interesting, nothing original, nothing intriguing, nothing worth a note of shit. So I can't even think of a good line of dialogue he was given to say, witty or funny or a good one-liner. Can't think of anything. So I think that definitely hurt Michael Paré's performance, because like, how am I going to act through this shit? Michael Ironside, nice to see him, but he just plays another like typical villain who, lo and behold, has an art gallery, or not gallery, but loves his paintings and pieces of art, and how many villains have done that? Pontificate about their art, and people talk about the price, but I appreciate the art. And I mean, how many times have you seen that ad fucking nauseum? And when the action happens, there's nothing that noteworthy. You have the little car chase at the beginning, which just made me want to rewatch Beverly Hills Cop. If I want to see cops dealing with a semi going out of control. When he's protecting Barbara Carrera's character, there's a point where she gets taken and he does this fight scene. It's very stilted. It's like, it doesn't have the best blocking and fluidity. Michael Paré does a decent, roundhouse kick, but the fight scene looked like something would be from a TV show. And that's what this kind of reminded me of. It kind of reminded me of a cable TV show more than a movie. In terms of the lack of action. Well, I'd made for Stinamax movie, maybe, because it's, like I said, it's not a whole lot happening. Him and Barbara fall in love. At one point, these guys accost Michael Paré, and I thought it was funny. They accost him with like shark teeth, like a fucking shark jaws. Like they fucking hold him at bay on the not ground, but on this thing. It's not fucking the shark teeth. I'm like, okay. And probably the thing people remember is the two big love scenes, because they don't go on for so long. One's like 4 minutes long, and one's like 5 minutes long. And the movie's like an hour and 30-some minutes. It's a good chunk of your time. That's probably why I found a trailer on YouTube. You could get this unrated or rated, because of it was selling it on steamy sex scenes. This is around the time you had Basic Instinct. So Basic Instinct was a success. Hey, films like this, Stinamax, Cinemax, but we call it Stinamax, bump up a lot of those type of movies. Bruce Willis did a film called Color of Night, which had, sex scenes in it, all that stuff. So at one point he has a sex with Barbara, and that lasts for like 4 minutes. I'm like, you know what? If I want sex scenes, I could watch porn and see more than just, the Stinamax version. There's another bit where there's a montage where they're making out in a pool and on a bed. And it looks like they're ready to do a 69. Might as well do a flying 69 off this fucking mountain, off this cliff, off this periphery of my eyesight to get this movie the hell out of here. Oh, then they're making out on the stairs, in the shower. Yeah, give me half an hour. It wasn't me. Boring and uneventful are the two words that best describe this. Boring and uneventful. Just like this review. Even there's a cover where he's holding like a machine gun. I don't think he ever even uses a fucking machine gun in this movie. It's just either him talking with Barbara, trying to convince her of what's going on, or him talking with his dead buddy, the cop that died, that guy's fiance, and she's getting him names and information. Found that Michael Ironside's connected with the police chief, the boss, I should say, the police boss that Michael Paré knows he was up to no good from the get-go. Or that's pretty much it. There's a bit where he fights a guy who has these chains, and he's able to get the guy to hit a chain and electrocute himself, fry his ass. Michael Ironside and the dirty cop are on a boat, and Michael Ironside has a fun scene where you up the price, and he starts shooting the guy in the kneecaps. You want a 35%? Now you want 50%? That was a nice little scene from Michael Ironside, but now we're watching for the 90-some minutes. And if you're expecting some big action finale where Michael Ray's, Michael Paré's fighting guys or beating up guys or big shootouts or big explosions or big chases or guns a-blazing, you're shit out of luck. That's what I mean. This felt like, not a pilot, but it just felt like a cheap made for cable movie. Again, made for Cinemax. It's just Michael Paré and Michael Ironside get into a little fight. Paré doing a little bit of this punching. Spoiler, Michael Ironside swings, he misses, and he falls off the damn boat. And it revealed that when he fell off, I guess the thing he had, he had accidentally impaled himself on. A buddy of his gets there, and the two of them are going to take the dirty cop in. The dirty police boss. Michael Paré and Barbara have a chat. She's like, we could be together. And Michael Paré says, you didn't trust me, so I don't trust you. You have too many secrets. Ciao, babe. Leaves. She's standing there sad. And the movie ends. Where's the impact of this point of impact? Where's the fucking impact? You don't watch Double Impact? You watch a lot of movies with impact in the title. Sudden Impact? With Clint Eastwood? They did Double Impact with Van Damme? I think there's a movie called The Final Impact. I forget what the hell it was about. It'd probably still be better than this. Listen, unless you're the most diehard Michael Paré fan, and hey, I like Michael Paré, but unless you're the most diehard Michael Paré fan, I don't know what the hell you get out of this. Like I said, there's a severe lack of action. The few bits that are there are nothing of note. Michael Paré's character, he got fired. He's pissed off about that. He gets hired. Falls in love with Barbara Carrera. Or unless you're diehard to see Barbara Carrera's sex scenes, the two that are in here, combined, again, they go on for like 10 minutes combined, those scenes. And that's really the thing you remember the most. Always I see Michael Ironside, but he's wasted on a role that anybody could have played. Anybody could have played this role. And again, the ending is just such a wet fart of a finale. Just, he fights one guy, and then he's on a boat, and then Ironside, and not even like a cool move, cool maneuver, cool kick, cool punch, one-liner, but nothing. Just, no wonder this gets a 3.5 on IMDb. Makes perfect sense. Because there's nothing worth the shit. Again, if you like Michael Paré, there's a lot of better options to go watch Michael Paré. Even that movie with Dolph Lundgren, that's, sadly it does use a lot of stock footage. What was it called? Not Direct Action, that's a fun one. Direct Contact, I believe. With Dolph Lundgren and Michael Paré. Again, that has a lot of stock footage, but that has Dolph Lundgren put a grenade in Michael Paré, push him out the window, and he explodes. Like, that one scene alone is better than this entire movie. Like I said, Direct Contact I have issues with because of, especially knowing about the stock footage. But, like I said, I'd rather watch that any day over this movie. Like I said, Into the Sun with Anthony Michael Hall and Michael Paré is a decent one. But this, easily one of the worst I've seen from Paré. I know he's been in some Uwe Boll films. So, maybe this isn't as bad as Uwe Boll films, but still. But hey, it's on Tubi if you want to give it a look, but if there's merit, you feel free to tell me what, because I don't see it. Because there's nothing there. Nothing happens. Yeah, unless you love Barbara Carrera naked, which I love her naked, but not worth the 97 minutes, whatever the hell long it is. Anyway, with that said, we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.